was wonderful. Thank you all for being here, and I want to welcome Pat up to the front. Hey, Pat. And we'll welcome any questions anyone has. I don't know if you want to just say some words about the movie and where you guys are and all that.
Well, where we are right at this moment is Stephen is down in Austin at the Austin Gay and Lesbian Film Festival. I fly out 5:30 tomorrow morning from here to join him there. Jennifer, who sings this lovely song throughout the film and there at the end, is in Portland right now, probably doing a talk back there. So the film is getting some good coverage on the festival circuit. We're really, and thank you so much, so excited and honored to be a part of this program. And to be paired with Shabbat dinner. Interesting synchronicity here of Shabbat dinner. The father playing, the actor playing the kosher lawyer father is right now rehearsing with me a production of Look Homeward Angel in New York.
No way.
Yeah, I'm off from rehearsals here. It's being directed by Austin Pendleton. Anybody who knows those famous character actors, Austin's one of them. If you saw My Cousin Vinny, he was the lawyer who stuttered a lot in that film. But yeah, so this was a true labor of real love for us. And the theme of the film is love. The message is our love is the same as your love. And that's what we're trying to do. We're not trying to hit people over the head with a sledgehammer. And did you like it? It's a good movie. Just as a movie. Yeah. So are there any questions that you want to ask? Any things that you were curious about that you saw in the film, or that you wanted to see, or yes?
I have two questions. One is, was your intent before the vote passed in New York? Was your intent to keep going to states?
Our intent is to keep going.
Oh, you're going.
We're going to keep going.
So maybe later this year,
Come back
here.
Yeah, come back here to Washington and everybody make sure that you get out and vote. WashingtonForMarriage.org. You should all look that up online as well. Do what you can. Stephen and I manned phone banks in New York during that period when we were trying to get the vote through in New York. As of the night before that vote, we were on the phone bank and we needed one senator. We still needed one when we closed down the phone bank that night, and we wound up getting 5 overnight because people got calls, people got emails, because truly. Your legislators, whether they are for or against an issue, are supposed to do what you tell them to do. So if they have a preponderance of support for an issue that they're against, too bad, Senator, you got to vote for it. So always remember that.
Did you have another question?
Yes.
Yes.
This not so significant. The little doll that kept showing up in all of the pictures. Different people were holding it. What was the significance of the doll?
I have to be careful about mentioning her because she is actually a property of a studio who has a famous animal as its mascot, a mouse. So I have to be careful about mentioning her because she is a property of that studio, and they're known for litigation. But ask me afterwards, and I'll explain her to you. I'd be happy to explain that personally to anybody. But yeah, so, and I also should point out too, we will be back in Seattle in about a week and a half. I'll be back myself for sure, and Stephen's trying to arrange it so that he can come too for the Seattle Gay and Lesbian Film Festival. So if you liked it enough to see it a second time.
Or just tell your friends.
Or tell your friends. Yeah, absolutely. And, yes?
Well, I wanted to say thank you so much for putting this film together and starring in it and doing everything. It was great.
Thank you.
So I want to say thanks. I think everybody really enjoyed it.
You're welcome.
And I guess I was just wondering, I'm wondering about your influences in terms of, what inspired you to make this, besides the love that you have for your partner, your husband.
This whole journey was an operation in miracles and serendipity. Literally on a goof at a party, Stephen said that we should just go everywhere and just get married everywhere it's legal. And I turned around and I said, and then we'll sue the United States government for what we had to do, and we'll force marriage equality onto the government that way. And because we had been thinking about having a wedding, just a wedding. And surely by 2011, New York will have marriage equality. Not. didn't happen. Other things, and so we said if we can't have the legal wedding in New York, we'll have a wedding in New York and legalize it somewhere else. So that was a seed that was planted. And then Stephen made that statement about going everywhere, and then we started thinking, maybe we could go everywhere. Because we were talking about mostly the Eastern Seaboard, and we'll figure out Iowa and California. And all of a sudden, when we were sitting at home with Marcy, who was our Jewish Iowa officiant, and in about 45 minutes, the whole thing got mapped out. We just started saying, we'll do here, and this is the person who will marry us there, we'll do this, we'll go there, we'll go there. And it just happened, it just fell together. Because inspiration happens that way. And then as we were going to sleep that night, I said, this might make an interesting documentary about marriage equality. Let's do that. Let's get a camera and shoot it ourselves.
I bet that was fun.
Yeah, well, and yeah, we know so much about filmmaking. But as time wore on and the idea really grew and we started telling our friends that we wanted to do it, which included Alan and Jennifer, who are now married. By the way, they were affianced at the beginning of the film. They are now married, the two of them. Stephen came to me one evening and said, should we ask Alan if he wants to be involved, if he wants to direct? I said, he's so busy. He's doing 3 different television shows. He's done What Not to Wear. He worked for BBC America. He was editing.
He's working for Barack Obama right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. He's in Chicago doing that. So we were very trepidatious about asking him, and I said to Stephen, just call him. Just ask him, he can say no. So he called him, and Alan picked up the phone, and Stephen was like, Alan, we have this idea about making that documentary, and he said, I'll do it. Just that fast. And that was the first indication that we knew we sort of had something there. So that's a very long-winded response to you, but that's how it worked.
Yeah.
Mr. Takei, yes. And it's Takei, not Takai. It's George Takei. Alan, our director, his manager, had a contact for George's manager, a.k.a. his husband, and sent him a copy of the film and asked him if there was any way that he would like to be involved, told him that we were looking for a narrator. We knew that we wanted a well-known voice, and we had floated it past some principally female voiceovers, people that we knew that turned it down. And the reason they turned it down is so that we could find our way to the absolutely right person. And Brad, George's husband, sat down, watched the film with George. They said, we do like it, we'd like to be involved, and it went back and forth in negotiations. And finally we came up with an agreement, and George went in and did it in one day. Just went in, nailed it all, one day, in and out. And it was really terrific. I mean, he really makes the movie, I think, a lot of ways. So, anything else? Yes, ma'am.
Which I think y'all make the movie. And I really, I so appreciated that you didn't focus on pushing against the law. Like, just your focus isn't about what you're against. Your focus is what you're for, and really focusing on and letting us see in such an intimate way the love that you share with each other. I'm so grateful for that, and for all the crying and for all the kissing. It's more beautiful.
Thank you.
You guys kiss. I don't know.
We keep every time I see the film, I always turn down and I say, I think it needs about 5 minutes of more of me crying. I cry at Hallmark commercials.
There's something about that that's so lovely. Just sometimes people really try to hide that, they try to contain it, and you guys just let it spill over, and it's so much a part of who you are and just how open your heart is to each other.
Thank you very much. That's so sweet. Thank you. Anything else? I think we've... Yes?
Last question, yeah.
Did your families see your film?
No one in my family has seen the film yet. We're going to Texas, and my niece and nephew, whom you saw in the film, will see it then. And my other niece, their sister, will also come down with her husband and see it. And this will be my trip to finally meet my grandniece, too. So I don't believe my brother, whom you saw in the film, will be coming.
It's so appealing in so many ways.
Thank
I
you.
can't imagine that if complete strangers, why wouldn't, you know,
My heart
bring
agrees with
something
you.
to your family,
Yeah. Yeah, and I imagine, you know, more members of my family will see it as it becomes at least adjacent to where they live, you know, as we travel around doing all these festivals.
So do you have a lot of festivals planned now?
There are, I believe, 7 more, because Portland's happening right now. I think there are 7 more between now and the middle of November.
So Seattle and Texas.
Seattle, Texas, Rochester, Atlanta just happened, so I shouldn't
Okay.
count that, so 6 more.
Okay.
Did I say Tampa?
No?
Tampa, Florida. And then there'll be a screening of it in Baltimore for an organization there, because Maryland, of course, is under referendum
Okay.
as well, the way Washington is. So they're the next 2 states where Stephen and I will be getting married, I think. So,
Yes, we'll all be there for you to support you.
thank you so much. Thank you all very much for coming. I
Yeah.
appreciate it. And you, lovely, lovely audience. Thank you.
And don't forget to vote. The ballots are by the restrooms when you
Yes,
go out.
Audience Choice Awards.
So both films are on the ballot. So.
Good for us. Thank you.